Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome for the first time if you are new. We are back to watch the finale of Shogun. I am very excited, but also still very heartbroken over last week. Last week we saw the tragic death of Mariko. Just heartbreaking. I thought she was gonna be making it out, you know, all the interventions that happened, and then you know, freaking Ishido's men just gotta break in and blow everything up, and it's just heartbreaking. So I'm very curious to see how they move on from that. You know, how does Blackthorn move on? How does Toranaga move on? You know, is Toranaga gonna lead an assault on the castle? Like, what's gonna happen? I don't know, but I'm very curious to find out. So before we jump into this, if you end up enjoying this reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me. If you're new here, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider supporting me on Patreon or joining YouTube memberships. You just sync up your own copy of the show and you can watch along with me. But other than that, let's jump into the series finale of Shogun. Percy and Nigel, whoever the heck those guys are. Is this the future?
I'm angry if she knows we're in here. Why is it chipped? Because grandfather used it to fight off a whole army of Japanese assassins.
Oh, is this Blackthorn in the future?
Was it really given to you by a savage?
Oh, he's got Mariko's cross. Sad. Yeah, she's gone, dude.
Heavenly Father, we commit to you, your loyal servant.
Damn. Funeral rites. Yabushige, this is all your fault. A Dream of a Dream. Chapter 10. Does he know? I assume he knows. It was avoidable. Facts. Damn, what fancy sliding.
かけがえのない家臣の非業の最後に色を失い、兄は秘密裏に江戸を抜け出し、戦の支度をしておる。
Yeah.
肝心なのは、我らがしっかり団結しておるということよ。
You are not united, though. I feel like they have serious doubts.
のキリシタンとしての葬儀を執り行わねばなりませぬ。
マリコ殿の死は気の毒じゃが、あの者が明智家の身内じゃということを忘れてはなるまい。落ち葉様の父君を殺めた一族ぞ。
マリコ殿は手厚く弔っていただかねば。
Damn right. You were friends.
承知つかまつった。しからばその後、戦といたしましょうぞ。
お世継ぎにも加わっていただきとうござりまする。
無論じゃ。お世継ぎの御旗のもと、我らは正当な軍となり、謀反人となるのじゃ。してあの異端者はいかがいたしまするか。こたびの戦議で
So it really depends on which side the heir chooses to be lawful, you know? feel like that's a bad omen, brother.
息災のようで何よりじゃ藪重殿。おう。あ。耳の方はようなったか。
耳でございまするか。ああ、おお、かたじけのうござる。
Is he deaf? Can he not hear anything now?
かつて太閤殿下は虎長公に戦を仕掛ける寸前まで行かれた。兵はすべて殿下に賛同。だがそこで地震が起きたのじゃ。琵琶湖を震源地とする大きな地震でござった。殿下の味方はそれを不吉な前兆と
It
見
was
な
a bad omen.
どうじゃ。太閤殿下ナマズを咎められた。太く不格好なナマズが譲ったせいで地震が起きたのじゃと。
藪重殿。藪重殿。その池にナマズはおらんぞ。
He's going crazy.
伊豆へ戻られるがよい。兵を集め、わしの指示を待て。
Yeah, I wouldn't put him in command of his army. He is struggling. You're gonna need to put Omi in charge. But I don't know if Omi likes you.
お前を空に戻してやろう。
Goodbye, Birdie.
娘をあまた埋めよう。
Interesting.
Really given to you by a savage.
She was not a savage.
随分と寝ておられましたの。マリコ様は先日埋葬され申した。
Damn, he's been asleep the whole time?
All families have now been released from Osaka. Praise be to God. At least that crisis is behind us.
Toranaga won't be surrendering.
Toranaga will be dead in weeks.
Then you don't know Yoshi Toranaga.
Yeah, he will not be dead in weeks.
The hostages are free. He got just what he wanted. No dirty hands. No war. Just a woman.
I mean, he didn't want to get it this way, but he got what he wanted.
Is this where I'm to be? Ambushed? Like the last time I tried to leave?
I will not deny it. You were meant to die in these woods. But an arrangement was made.
You'll have to forgive me if I'm having some trouble accepting anything on your word.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to believe him.
It was Lady Maria. She asked the church to spare your life before she died. And now I have.
Okay.
I have kept my word to her.
Her final act. Oh, don't cry. Oh, no. Single tier acting school. What a goat.
風なを吹きて花は花なれ。
Thankfully, the wind carries them elsewhere.
我ら大坂に行くべきではなかったな。
He agrees.
キネの国は何て言うたかの。国じゃ。そう、国じゃ。なんだ。
England.
そこへわしを連れてってくれ。
Take me there.
したらあれじゃ。 飛び込みを指南してくれ。虎長様に指南したようにわしにも手本を見せてくれ。はよ。
Pull yourself together, man.
He is panicking.
あの
Oh, his boat. It sank. That's sad. I mean, it was very decrepit. It's like the one thing he had left.
恐れながら藪重殿
Is he being
刀を渡してい
arrested?
ただくように申し使っております。
Interesting. Do they know that he had a part to play? And he's gonna die because of it?
闇夜に紛れてわしらの警護をすり抜け襲撃したのでございます。敵は狙いどころをよう心得ておりました。キリシタンに手を貸した者が見つかるまでこの村の者たちは誰も安らうことができません。虎長様がそのように命じられました。
Damn. People would just be dying.
マリコ殿が亡くなられたことはお聞き及びかと存じまする。
Oh yeah, he heard the news. And I think he knows you were part of it.
あの世賊を屋敷に招き入れるソチの姿が見られておったこともな。ソチは襲撃を手引きしたのか。
You're gonna die, brother.
いたしました。
ソチの所領はすべて召し上げ、明日の日没までに腹を切ってもらおう。
どの道殺すのであれば良き筋をお与えくださる。
Brother, I don't think you deserve a good death.
解釈は誰がよい。
安心殿が。
Damn, okay.
なら
Oh, no.
殿にお願いできますれば、今日地獄に存じまする。
承知した。しからば明日。
明日不動明王のご加護を賜りますように。
Damn, okay. Yabushige ordered to die. Fumi. Best girl Fumi.
プリ様。
He must not have heard her. His hearing isn't the best as well.
すっかり息災。
かたじけのうございまする、安心様。
ツンジいない。
Now you really gotta learn.
これは私どもが大坂城を出立する朝、落ち葉の方から内密にお預かり申した文でございます。
Interesting. Secret letter.
読んだのか。
Secret letter.
ひどい勘繰りでございます。
Secret letter. Of course she read it. It is saying that the heir will aid him. And that his side is lawful. It's going to be a mega twist. I'm calling it. That's what it's going to say. They made a point earlier in the episode of being like, whoever the heir chooses is the lawful side. She's going to convince that little boy to side with Toranaga.
あまりに美しゅうて殿がお読みになられたとは思いませぬ。
マリコ殿の歌じゃ。
Yeah, they're her words.
後に残るは言葉のみか。
Only her words remain with us now.
なんと見事な焚き火を。
What a bonfire indeed.
明日にて私はおいとまをいただきます。
No, Fumi.
虎長様から尼になるお許しが出ましたので。
Sad. Alternatively, do you want to stay here?
そなたいてほしい。
虎長様にお仕えするお役目は果たしました。
But we don't want you to go.
藤様いい尼。
Best none.
船のことで村人が厳しく罰せられているゆえ。
私も。
Yeah, he's just depressed now.
刀と鉄砲を渡せ。
Damn, he like just willingly gives it to him. Last time they had to argue about it. Bye, Fumi. Have fun being a nun. I'll miss you.
配下の者たちには下手人を見つけるまで休むなと命じてある。
殿、この通じ役ただの漁師には手に負えません。
You're not a simple fisherman.
話してやれ。
Forgive me for the deception, 安心殿。I was born 殿本明直 in the Azuchi prefecture.
He's the
I
goat.
am samurai.
He ain't no fisherman.
But at least you're not Catholic.
I am a Christian. And also,
At least you're not
I am
Catholic.
殿本明直。
殿の弟君に降伏したい。無礼を尽くしたことをお詫び申し上げまする。私はあの俺失って。
And he didn't know. He didn't know the plan.
網路の人追っておいてほしい。望みなくした人いる。でも網路の人忠実。
何故安順はわしの村の窮状に気を病んでおるのじゃ。
Because he's gonna stay here forever now.
It was Mariko-sama. She hated my war against the Catholics. So she made an arrangement in Osaka to trade my survival
Oh, for the ship.
for
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
destruction
Okay.
of my ship.
Gotcha.
己の戦はいかがいたすつもりじゃ。
I don't need it anymore.
He doesn't care.
何をしておる。
I was the disloyal one. 私死ぬ。村人死なない。
なら
Come on, man.
I came here to use you. To use you! From the day I set foot on your shores, I fed you shit. I fed you shit.
He knew. He's probably known from the beginning.
Dickie. Dickie. Dickie!
'Cause 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 'C just so sad.
私安心はこの命をもって吉井虎長によるこの村への無慈悲な処罰に抗議いたす。
I mean, we know he doesn't die. Damn. That was a vicious elbow.
気が済んだのであれば、あの船を立て直し、わしのために水軍を作るがよい。
Okay. That seems like a better solution. Gross. Heads on spikes.
できれば拙者も生き延びて見とうございましたぞ。殿の計りごとがどのようなものであれ、うまくいく様を。甥の初陣も、安心が船を燃やしたキリシタンどもを海で打ち負かすところも。
Shouldn't have done what you did.
壊さねばならなかったのじゃ。安心の命か、安心の船か、そのどちらかであった。マリコ殿が教会に話をつけ、わしは同意した。
Okay, so he was a part of
殿
it.
が船を燃やしたのでございまするな。
やむを得ずの小細工よ。安心を試すためのな。あやつは一生日の元から出られぬ宿命であろうな。
I think eventually he leaves because we see him as an old man.
会いましょうか。殿は全ての風を己の欲しいままに操っておられる。
わしは風を操ったりはせぬ。読むだけじゃ。
He studies it, see where it goes.
好天はすでに終わっておる。大老衆が結束しておる限り、大坂に軍を送るなどもってのほか。それはすなわち死を意味する。そこでわしは女子を一人送り込み、軍勢にもできぬことをさせたのじゃ。
Flip the script. Mariko did what she needed to do.
これよりおよそ一月のち、我らは関ヶ原にて敵と対峙いたす。5つの軍勢が戦場にて。
On the field of battle.
お世継ぎの軍が石堂側につけば、わしの軍勢に勝ち目はない。
But the heir is not on his side.
マリコ殿の行いのおかげで、落ち葉の方は石堂との盟約に嫌気がさし、
Hell yeah.
秘密裏にわしに文をよこし、お世継ぎの軍を戦場には出さぬと誓われた。その日石堂には掲げる御旗がない。まずはわしの新たな権勢の要である江戸から始める。築き上げるは戦のない太平の世じゃ。
Damn. What a strategist.
あやつを殺してしまおうと思うたことは何度もあったが、思いとどまった。あやつに値打ちがあるからではない。あやつは
He makes you
わ
laugh.
しを笑わせおるし、
What a reason to keep him alive.
勝てば全て思いのままになる。
History is written and sculpted by the victors.
それが殿のかねてよりの望みであったのでございまするな。本当のことを語ってくだされ。墓場まで持ってまいりまするゆえ。
死人に先々の話をして何と
I tell a dead man the future. Oh, using his own words against him. Damn, he just does it while sitting there. And off the cliff he goes.
I've always been of the mind that a soul committed to the deep is a soul who, in some way, lives on forever within it. Zutto. Isso.
Spread their ashes in the sea. Oh, those are the same words that Mariko said to her about her kid.
Raise the ropes! Shush! No, we'll do. I know you're tired, but tide's come up some, so we'll try again.
Oh, hello, sir. Can I help you? He would like to help you salvage your ship. One extra man should do it.
Right. Raise the ropes! Right, you miserable, sniveling, festering shitbags! I have a feeling this is the one. Here we go. No, Murati. Just keep that between you and I.
You shit rags. Buntaro will be the one. Wow, it's a 1600s water bottle. Just the subtlest of head nods. Is that the end? Is it going to end here? Wow. Holy cannoli, brother. What a way to end it. Okay, that is Shogun. What a beautiful journey that we went on. I don't even know fully like how to describe what I'm feeling, but I've really liked what they did. They could have gone the route that I think a lot of people might have expected them to go, with like Toranaga, you know, besieging the city. I mean, I even thought before the episode started, I'm like, are they going to do that? Like, what's going to happen? I thought maybe Toranaga leads his army to Osaka and they have a fight and they win the fight and he's in power now. But I think they really subverted expectations and decided instead to make this a more like personal you know, retrospection of how each of these individual characters feel about what's going on and their particular journeys and everything regarding that. And I really liked it. Like seeing Blackthorn's acceptance of his situation throughout this episode was very, very interesting. I watched the or I listened to the podcast about the episode, and it actually cleared some things up for me. I'm glad that I listened to that first, because I was initially a little confused about the old man version of Blackthorn that we see at the beginning of the episode, where we think that it's this old man looking back on his time and what happened, but we learn that that's not actually the case, and it is truthfully young Blackthorn looking forward at what a possible future he could have had. So like he could have taken his ship, before he knew it was sunk. He dreamt about, I could still take my ship, I could still go back to England, I could live my life, I could have kids, I could have grandkids, I can have my time in Japan as like a memory, but ultimately nothing more than that. And throughout the episode and by the end, he has to like close himself off from those ambitions and fully accept like the situation that he's in, right? Like throughout the entire series, Blackthorn has been a man of ambition. Even throughout all his moments with Mariko and his deep love for her, to his core, he's still a man with ambitions who wanted to open Japan up to trade with England, and he wanted to have that recognition for that, and now with the loss of Mariko and the loss of his ship, he has to sit and like take it in and figure out who he is now, because he no longer has the option to go back to England. He no longer has Mariko to fall in love with. He no longer has any of that. He just has to figure out who he is and what he wants going forward, and what means the most to him going forward, what purpose he has. And it was just very interesting, because he's, I don't, it was just tough. It was tough. It was tough to watch, but it was also like healing. Like it hurts to watch him go through some of the things he's going through, but it brings him healing, and it brings the audience healing, like for Mariko's death, which I thought was really beautiful. And his quiet moments with Fumi, both just at their house, where he's like, he makes a small little comment where he just says, "No more translator." Like, she's gone. They just have to talk to each other directly and really parcel out each other's meanings and be in this moment together. And you have him trying to get her to stay when she's like, "I'm gonna go become a nun." Like, at that point in the episode, he's still very depressed, and he's like essentially being like, "You're the last thing I have. Like, you're everything that's left. I can't have you leave too." And she's like, "No, like I'm gonna become a nun." He's like, "All right, well, if you're gonna go become a nun, you better be the best goddamn nun I have ever seen." So like, just their moments of bonding was really nice. And then they have the most beautiful moment, I think, in the episode, is when they're just on that boat together. He takes her out to the boat and is like, "Hey, like, let's spread your family's ashes in the water," because he believes that like when you lay someone to rest at sea, they are with you forever. And they do that. They lay those ashes in the water, and it's beautiful. And then he takes Mariko's cross and he lays that in the water as well. And it's just this beautiful, beautiful moment of like, these people are going to be with us forever, but we do have to let them go. We have to let it go and move forward. And it's just, it's so beautiful and heartbreaking and healing, and I loved it. And then Blackthorn then has to move forward of like, hey, he then takes up a somewhat new purpose with the village, and part of that is kind of his fault, but also Toranaga's fault and the church's fault. So Blackthorn, he was going to be killed. He was going to be killed, but Mariko and Toranaga negotiated on his behalf that he gets to live, but the ship has to sink. And so Toranaga sinks the ship, And then kind of like, not like, I don't know how to describe it, but like Toranaga, he sinks the ship, and then Blackthorn comes back, and like to test him, he's like, we're going to start killing people in the village to figure out who did this, knowing full well it was him. He's like, I did this, but I'm going to start killing people to root out the enemy. And it takes all of that for Blackthorn to be like, I am the enemy, for him to truly give up his ambitions, to be like, I am the enemy. If someone's going to die, let it be me. Very, very nice callback, in my opinion, to episode 5 with his gardener, where his gardener is the one who sacrifices his life for the rest of the village, even though he didn't need to. He and in this case, Blackthorn didn't need to either. But, what he previously thought was just the stupidest thing. He's like, this old man died for nothing. And now he's in the position where he's like, oh, frick, like, I'm the man that's going to die for this village instead. And he's truly accepting his place in the world and how he feels about the village, and like, this is his home now. Like, he has nowhere else to go. Like, he's not going back to England. And so he has to accept his spot. And he's like, if someone's going to die, it's going to be me. And he's willing to go through with it. Like, he's willing to throw all his ambitions away, while not fully like understanding the the way seppuku works. He's like, I will kill myself if it means saving this village. And I guess that is a part of a test from Toranaga, and he passed the test, I guess. And Toranaga's like, you know what? If you want to live, like, if you want to be so important right now, then live. Your new purpose, I'll spare the village. Your new purpose is to build me a fleet that in the end doesn't even matter, because the fight is like essentially like a non-fight. It's a peaceful end to the situation. But he's like, you're gonna build this fleet for me. That's your new purpose going forward. Is that? And him and even Buntaro is like, all right, I'll help you pull your boat out of the water. Like, the writers and stuff described it as the buddy comedy, or the buddy cop comedy you never would have expected of Blackthorn and Buntaro becoming shipbuilding friends. That is so funny. But like, just the whole journey of Blackthorn through this series of, going from where he started, a purely ambitious character who is as genuine and endearing as he is, to a fault, he still had personal ambitions and carried those through most of the series, as they talked about in the podcast, where he didn't really change. Like, he had different things about him that changed, but to his core, he was still the same, until this last episode, where he truly gave up who he was to become someone else. And I liked that. I liked it quite a bit. Other things I liked the end of Yabushige. I was so mad at him. At the end of last episode, I was like, I hope he receives like the most brutal death possible, and I've softened on that. Obviously, just even from the opening moments of the episode, he is immediately like, forgive me, like, I'm sorry, like, I didn't realize this was gonna happen. And I'm still kind of mad at him because of Mariko's death, but like, I don't know. It's hard to be completely mad at him when he didn't fully know what was going to happen, and he regrets it, and it's just tough. But he's a man that he didn't quite realize that he needed to let his own ambitions go to the end. To the end, he's still trying to save his own life. They're coming back on the ship, and he's like, Blackthorn, take me with you. Like, I will go with you. And it's just like, dude, like, no. Like, it's over, man. Like, you're done. And he's immediately taken captive on the island by his nephew, who then becomes the new, like, like, well, I mean, he would have become the new ruler of this particular area, but Toranaga's like, nah, dude, like, this area is not yours to give away anymore. He made Omi his heir, for sure. That's pretty good, but he's like, nah, this isn't yours anymore. And his moments with Toranaga at the end, where he's like, man, like, tell me the plan. Like, if you're gonna kill me, at least tell me the plan. And Toranaga, he does. He tells him, he's like, we all played a part in this. And even you with your personal ambitions and your backstabbing, like, I knew all of it. Like, I was aware. He's like, but you are playing a part in the creation of this new world. And he lets him know that because of everything that's gone down, he knew he wouldn't be able to send an army to go against the regents. He would lose. He knew he couldn't do that, so he sent Mariko to do what he could not, and that is sway Lady Ochiba and her son, and cause dissent amongst the regents, right? And you know, I don't think his plan was like, hey, she's gonna kill herself and die, but his plan was to send her to cause dissent, and she completed her part of the plan brilliantly. And so Lady Ochiba then turns on Ishido. He doesn't know, but she sent a letter being like, when the time comes to fight, we will not be on his side. Like, we will not send our army. He will be bannerless. And they made a specific point earlier in the episode to be like, the only reason our fight is lawful is because the heir's banner is with us and not with Toranaga. And the way they described this situation, and especially in the podcast thing, is essentially Ishido's side will be this disorganized side without a banner, versus this very organized, impassioned group, this army. And so Toranaga is essentially being like, yo, the fight is won. It's over. It's done. The heir is on our side, and, you know, you played a part in this, Yabushige. And, you know, thank you, but your time is done. I'll see you soon. And he kills him, and he falls off the cliff, and that's the end of Yabushige. But he lets him in on a little bit of insight of like why he kept Blackthorn around, and it was purely because he likes him. He's like, he makes me laugh, and he's a useful distraction to the enemy. Like, that's the only reason that he's still here. And it's cold, but it's truthful, and you know, it is what it is. And I even liked Toranaga's developments in this episode, even though they weren't, you know, huge and substantial. He comes to the point of like not wanting to be a shogun at the beginning of the series, to, I mean, holding true to most of that throughout, and then at the end realizing like, okay, if I want this era of peace, I do need the title of shogun to do that. And he takes the title of shogun, centers his power in the city of Edo, which later eventually becomes Tokyo. But like, he ushers in this era of peace, which is so cool, that ends in like the 1860s or whatever it was. In the late 1800s it ends, and the emperor is essentially a figurehead for most of that time, just like a ceremonial, doesn't hold any true power until the 1800s when it's given back to him. But, you know, having Toranaga usher in this era of peace and all the things that came with it, and he understands all of that, and he takes all that in and is grateful for everyone's contributions. But, you know, he's kind of a man that lacks the personal ambition, right? He talks often about how, like, you know, what is better, my personal ambition, my personal bloodline, or Japan? And I think he stayed true to that to the end of, like, even though he toyed with some people's hearts along the way, namely Blackthorn, and he tricked a couple people and let people believe certain things, at the end of the day, he was a man who cared about the fate of Japan. And I liked that. I liked that quite a bit. Yeah, I don't know. The finale episode just felt very somber and very reflective. and it had a lot of healing, you know, like I've said 15 times already. It very much circumvented expectations and made you really feel grateful for the characters we've come to know in the show, the journey they've been on, and gives hope for the future of like what Japan can be, what these characters' lives can be, you know, a renewed purpose for characters like Blackthorn. Just a lot. It was a lot, and I liked it. I'm kind of glad that it wasn't some like big mega battle. You know, I think I kind of would have liked that going in, but now coming out on the other end, I'm kind of grateful that that wasn't the situation. You know, I'm glad that, you know, it paints a picture of peace and prosperity going forward. You know, that eventually ends in the lead up to, you know, eventually. Granted, the Edo period wasn't perfect. The feudal system in Japan was not perfect at all. Very much created a class system where people could not rise and climb above their circumstances, but for the most part was peaceful. And then, you know, we have obviously leading into the 20th century with World War I and World War II, and Japan's role in that to now where they are now, with Tokyo still being the most populous city in the world and the cultural impact that Japan has. And it's just very interesting to see where Tokyo and Japan is now versus like where it's being set up in this show. So I'm very, very curious. Overall, thoughts on the whole series, I thought it was incredible. It was this grand, sweeping epic that left you guessing many times and got you very personally invested in many of the characters. Anna Sawai as Mariko, incredible. Cosmo Jarvis as Blackthorn, amazing. Hiroyuki Sanada as Toranaga, incredible. Just, I feel like every character, every actor in the show brought their A game, and it was just beautiful to watch it. The care that they put into the story, I mean, the story itself is technically fictional and there's liberties taken here and there, but there's also this extra layer of authenticity that they cared about putting in there. Just made it feel more personal and more real. So that was brilliant. Just everything, like the set design, the cinematography, just incredible. Just the dialogue for so many of these characters was amazing. I just can't say enough how pleased I am about this show. I thought it was brilliantly done, and I am sad that there's no more of Shogun coming after, but I freaking loved it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too as well. That's I mean, these videos have gotten a lot of views, so thank you for all your support throughout this season. I want to make that clear. I'm always grateful to receive any views at all, but especially the numbers that these videos have done over this season. Very thankful for you guys. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I thoroughly enjoyed the season as a whole, and I'm curious to see what you guys thought about this finale. Were you caught off guard by how low key it was? I'm very interested to hear your opinions. I think that's all I have to say. Definitely let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. And then if you enjoyed my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me, helps my channel grow. If you're new here or you find yourself coming back often, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider either supporting me on Patreon or by joining YouTube memberships. You just sync up your own copy of the show and you can watch along with me. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.